For the first time, and maybe not the first time, but one of the very few times we try to not allow this to happen, but we have the same picks, man, across the board. We have Amanda Nunes getting her belt back. Brandon Moreno, we think he's going to get the job done over here against Kai Kara-France for the interim flyweight championship. How can you bet against the Black Beast, especially when he got a Sergey Pavlovich missile of a right hand? But what else do we have to offer? I don't know. We'll talk about that more in a second. Now, this is the real toss-up. Alexandre Pantoja versus Alex Perez. That one I could see going either way, but it looks like we're edging with the veteran. Both of them have a very similar record, but Alexandre Pantoja has been a little more hot as of late. And then lastly, the dark horse of the light heavyweight division, Magomed Ankalaev. We're rocking with him over Anthony Lionheart Smith. And AJ, I gotta ask you, was that probably the toughest pick to make on this entire five-fight main card? Was Magomed Ankalaev over Anthony Smith? Even though I'm such a huge fan of him, it's hard to deny the experience, the veteranship of an Anthony Smith, who has fought everybody there is to fight, who's fought champions, almost won a championship against John Jones, fell short a few fights back against what's homeboy Rakic. There we go, Anthony Rakic, but then came back with the 3-fight first round knockout streak, or finish streak, I guess I should say. How tough was that for you?
Man, that was definitely the toughest fight, especially because as I was doing this, I was actually streaming this one on Twitch. We were watching all the Anthony Smith fights, and him compared to how Magomed handles his opponents, it's a little more up and down. I get it. Magomed's a little more a little more consistent, if you will. But my man, Alex Smith is an absolute gangster, man. And you give him a little bit of opportunity, this dude's going to put you to sleep, whether it's, by his hands or he submits you. Anthony Smith is a real challenge in there. And this was one of those ones where I was sitting there back and forth for quite a while thinking, like, how is this going to go? And this is one of those fights I don't really know. It depends on how much Anthony Smith shows up, because we know Magomed's going to be there to actually put the pressure on, fight his normal fight like he has been. But thinking back on it, man, Magomed was had a bunch of first-round finishes. I could actually look it up, but had a bunch of first-round finishes, had a bunch of finishes until his last 3 or 4 fights, fighting the tough opponents, fighting those upper echelon opponents. Now he fights even more of a tough opponent. This one was a tough one to really choose, man, but I'm going with the dark horse either way.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of got to, right? When you're rooting for a dude, you know what I mean? You just think that this dude, Magomed Ankalaev, in his fight against Nikita Krylov, I feel like that was his biggest test, right? And Nikita Krylov is no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. And to kind of be losing that fight come round 3 and then do what you need to do to edge out the victory, I mean, man, it doesn't get better than that. So, folks, we will admit this is a little bit of a chalky week right here. We're basically rolling with all of the favorites on this main card, but sometimes you don't pick somebody just because they're plus money. You pick them because you think they're going to win, and these are the people that we think are going to win. So, long story short, folks, take a good gander, run to your local sports book, because these are the Bloody Water Podcast consensus picks right here. These are not my picks. These are not AJ's picks. These are the consensus picks of this platform that has brought you great value over the last, almost 2 years, maybe more than 2 years. I don't know how long we've been doing this now, but that's where you need to go. Run to your local sports book and then come back, hit us up in the comments and be like, hey man, I made this much money with you. You hit on this pick, X, Y, and Z. And I do want to give you guys a heads up. Also on the Twitch stream, not to double back on there, but on the Twitch is where you can kind of find when we're talking about just chatting on the, talking about the fight, talking about breakdowns. That's where you could find maybe some special parlays that we're into, maybe some special, over under parlays that we want to string together. Here, very analytical, very professional, very to the point. We have structure, we have segments. On Twitch, we do whatever we want. So that's why we encourage you. Tune in, follow. We'll have some graphics drop down below and all that good stuff. All right.